Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good week. This week, I wanted to jump into what is called the dream feed. And I don't know if everybody knows what that is. A lot of people don't. I didn't for the longest time. Even when I had kids, I didn't know exactly what it was. So today, I'm going to explain what it is. I'm going to explain why people do it. And I'm going to explain why you probably might not want to do it or why not. So let's just jump right into this. So, what is a dream feed? A dream feed is a feed that you offer your little one right before you go to bed. So usually this is done around 9 to 11 p.m. And you would offer it when they're still sleeping. So they're not even awake for this feed, hence why it's called a dream feed. So you'd basically, right before you're going to go to bed, get your baby out of their crib, feed them, put them back in, and go to bed yourself. So why? Why do that? What is the point of doing that? And the point of doing that is it's a lot of parents have the hope that if they do that, then it'll fill up their baby's stomach and it'll help them to sleep longer and they maybe won't wake at 12 a.m. This works for some children, but for many, it just does not work. So that leads me into why not? Why shouldn't you do this dream feed? And I would say, as a sleep consultant, that you shouldn't do this dream feed for a few different reasons, but let's talk about the sleep aspect of it. And that would be because if your little one is already struggling with sleep, this dream feed can actually exacerbate that, or it can actually create sleep issues. And that is because you can create a sleep association, and that would be the feed to sleep association. And the feed to sleep association is actually one of the hardest ones to break, and it's a very strong one that can be created. All my kids had it, and I had to break that feed to sleep association eventually because it just got unsustainable, and it was really hard for me to get sleep and for them to get the proper sleep. So I had to break it, and it will really reinforce if they already have that, it'll really reinforce that feed to sleep association. And what I mean by that, if you don't know what a feed to sleep association is it is when your little one associates feeding with sleep. So they need to feed to fall asleep or to get asleep. And this is exactly what we don't want. This is the opposite of what we want. We don't want our little ones depending on us to get to sleep. They need to learn how to fall asleep independently. And that takes work. That takes, it takes work it takes work to break that habit. So practicing healthy sleep habits from the start is actually really, really important, and not feeding your little one to sleep, because once they create that association, it's difficult to break. And I say that from experience 3 times. So those are some really important, the really important parts that I want to talk about. But I also want to get into, since we know what it is, we know why parents do it, and we know why it's probably not a good idea to do the dream feed for most kids. Not saying that's for every kid. If the dream feed is worked for you, it's not causing sleep issues, and it's working for you, then by all means do it. But I do find that a lot of people, it just does not work for. It becomes unsustainable, and it's creating sleep issues. So if you are finding that, then I definitely would say to stop and to start teaching your little one independent sleeping skills. So how do you stop? If you've already started this dream feed, how do you stop doing it? And that is simple. Go to bed. Instead of going in and waking up your baby and giving them a dream feed, don't. Just go to bed and feed them when they wake up on their own. This is key. A lot of parents are told by doctors, which if you are being told by your doctor to wake your child to feed them, then by all means listen to your doctor. But think about it. Our little ones know when they're hungry. They know when they need to eat. They really, for the most part, I would say 99% of children do not need us to wake them up to feed. I know the dream feed is given in hopes that your little one will actually sleep longer. And unfortunately, a lot of the times the opposite can happen. And why? Why does that happen? It's because when you're feeding your child when they are sleeping, they're not fully awake. They don't even know the feed is going on. And that makes it so they aren't actually taking in a full feed. And this can actually cause them to wake more because their bellies aren't full. And that will continue throughout the night. You have to make sure that your little one is awake when you're feeding them. Um, and that is really important because, I mean, obviously they need to be awake to take in a full feed, like I just said. And another thing is, why do people eat? Why does anyone eat? I mean, we need it to eat. But what is the most enjoyable part of eating? It's savoring the meal. It's enjoying it. It's, you want to enjoy what you're doing and you want to enjoy your meal. Well, it should be the same for little ones, so that they enjoy the feed. They get something out of it. That is really important as well as making sure that they're taking in a full feed, which needs to be done awake to get that full feed. So that those are two important reasons. And like I said, how to stop, you just stop doing it. And when they wake, you feed them. They will wake when they're hungry, and when they're hungry, feed them while awake, and then you can put them back in their crib awake so they can fall asleep on their own. This feed is in my point, it's kind of, I mean, in my personal opinion, it's kind of pointless. It actually creates more issues than it does solve anything. So as a certified sleep consultant and as just a mom of children, I wouldn't recommend doing this. And I do want to add on that if your baby is 6 months or older and they're healthy, and they're meeting their dietary needs during the day, they should be able to sleep through the night. They shouldn't have an issue with that. And if they're around 4 or 5 months old, they should still get at least 10 to 12 hours of sleep, maybe with one wake during the night, which you can give while they're awake. And then you can put them back into their crib while awake and they can fall asleep independently. But newborns, on the other hand, obviously they wake throughout the night many times. They have frequent wakes, and that is okay. They need it, so feed them. It's totally normal. But what you want to do is, again, you want to feed them while they're awake. So they take in that full feed. They need to be awake from beginning to end, of all ages. Beginning to end, they need to be awake. Don't let them fall asleep. Let them eat while awake, and while they're still awake, put them back in their crib or bassinet so they can fall asleep on their own. With newborns, it is a little bit different, but you do want to make sure you're at least practicing good sleep habits and putting them in their crib or bassinet awake so they can at least try to fall asleep on their own. It's very, very important to instill that right from birth. And so those are all the tips that I have for you guys today about the dream feed. If you guys like this video, I would love if you left a comment or if you shared it, so it can help some other parents out there. And I just want to reiterate, before I end this video, that again, if if the dream feed is going well for you and you're finding it works, then stick with it. But if it's starting to cause sleep issues, then I highly recommend just to drop it and to just feed them when they wake. It's simple. And I hope you guys, oh, and also if you like this video and you want more free advice and weekly tips, I do have a group called Sleep Little One. I give weekly advice. I have a theme every week. This week it's the dream feed. So you guys are getting a little bit of a tip, or a little bit of a look into what I do weekly in my group. We're talking about the dream feed this week. Every week it's a different theme, and I give it for free. And if you'd like some free advice, you can come join my group. The link is in the description box. If you want a more one-on-one personalized plan, I am a certified sleep consultant. So if you go into my group, or if you go onto my page, Sleep Little One Sleep Consulting, you can find my website and you can check that out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.